argument is very clear, which is for far too many years, youngsters have gone to schools where, quite rightly, the leaders of those schools have always tried to make sure that there's a loyalty to that school, and there is an assumption that that is the dominant organisation which youngsters belong to. Now, my argument is, and always has been, that youngsters have loyalties not merely to their school, but to their local athletic team, their drama team, or whatever. Now that the technology's got to the point where it has, and we've got myriad examples of the technology helping educate young people, individual schools have organised their own kind of online opportunities for youngsters. My argument is that what we ought to do is look at the founding of the Open University, and we ought to replicate that with an open school. And I would feel that any youngster should belong not merely to their local school, but also to an open school, using the best of the technology, using a myriad of different methods and opportunities of experiences, etc. It wouldn't merely be school replicated online, which I think the Oak Academy does brilliantly, but it would be a set of other opportunities. And in their home school, they would have an open school tutor. And I would select those teachers who have a very good rapport with youngsters. So, for example, in a secondary school, if you ask youngsters who they relate to on the staff, you would be surprised, well, perhaps not surprised, to find that some individual teachers are named time and time again, and other teachers are not mentioned so much. Now, it would be the ones that are mentioned time and time again that I think should be the designated open school tutors within the home school. And they would talk to youngsters who would be guided into taking either supplementary, extension, or support modules through the open school, which would be a national organisation. Now, in order to do this, I've suggested, with a friend of mine called Bob Moon, from the Open University, and with long experience of running schools in this country and influencing the education of teachers in using distance methods in Africa, we argued that now was the moment to set up such a school, enlist the support of the BBC, whose former Director General, Lord Hall, wrote an immediate letter of support, use the expertise of the Open University, who are at this very moment training universities to use the best practice online, and establish an open school. Now, it looks as though that proposition fell onto stony ground. It was picked up by the organisation called Nesta, which is a charity which is meant to support new ventures in the field of the arts and using science and technology in the arts. And they have taken it forward, but I think in the process, the Open University has not been involved heavily, and the BBC have dropped out of the picture with the change in Director General. Now, I think, therefore, the next move to get this established is to build on the Oak Academy. And the Oak Academy is there and is from the ground roots of schools at the secondary sector, and it could be taken forward. Now, I have referred time and again in what I've just said to increasing the opportunities of youngsters in the teenage years. And I do think the open school is of particular value to the secondary sector, particularly between 11 and 16, when youngsters are no longer children, don't know what adults they're going to become, and face all sorts of of distractions which might drive them away from becoming the youngster they can become. And the open school could have a particular focus on them. Not to say that youngsters in a primary school shouldn't join in, think they should, but the structure of running an open school should be at the secondary level. Now, that's what I think should happen. And having stimulated some thought on the matter nationally, what I'm going to do next is take things forward by working with the Oak Academy to try to make sure that their offering isn't quite so traditional as at the moment it is. In other words, that it becomes creative and enriched, as well as reinforcing what we all experience in secondary schools throughout the country. So that's my particular beef on the open school.